Oh, good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, October 18th Town Board Work Session. And if I could have a meeting please called to order by the clerk, Sue?
Drawe.
Here.
Kohl.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Ockenden.
Here.
Thank you. So at this time, I just wanted to mention that the town board will be going into executive session at the end of this meeting to discuss a personnel matter, and no decisions will be made at that meeting. We will dismiss from there. So our next order of business is the approval of minutes. Board, you have before you the work session and minutes from September 20th. Is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 20.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
All aye.
Thank you. Monthly reports have been coming in. I think we're almost up. I only saw a couple that I'm still looking for. Guests tonight, we have no guests. I'll move right into action items, and our first one is purchase of a Ventrac compact tractor with a blower attachment, and that's from Mr. Eric Tate, our Director of DPW.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
I'll actually have Mr. Masterton, our Parks Foreman, join me on this one. A few months ago, I actually came to this board with the idea of purchasing a Ventrac mowing tractor with various attachments. Since we have actually gotten that first one, that machine has been out and been used every single day. With that, we did purchase, one machine and 4 attachments. They all fit. They can all be used, but only one at a time. For any of you that, were able to make it this past weekend to our DPW equipment show, you may have seen it out. I know a number of kids were climbing on it, enjoying it. It's been a great addition to the department. It's helped, immensely with, the efficiency, how much we're able to get done, how well things are looking, really the quality. With that, kind of looking at our end of year budget, we do have some remaining funds that are available because other items did come in under budget. And with that, we are looking to, for the board's, approval to be able to actually purchase another unit with the idea that we could actually have 2 out at once using 2 different attachments, whether it's together in one area of town or to kind of spread out and somewhat divide and conquer. So I guess with that, the purchase price of that second unit would be just over $40,000, and wanted to get the board's thoughts, unless Tim's got anything additional.
No, just that we've been using it, like Eric said, nonstop. We've used the, if you see on the pictures we'll go from left to right, the hedge trimmer, we've used that to a lot of trail maintenance at Shadow Pines, cleaning up the overgrown trails. The side discharge finish mower, we've used that down at the Little League. And then the attachment that's right on the tractor right there, that's the main one we've been using, again, for more trail services. And then the one all the way to the right is we've been trying to use it at least once a week down at the Little League, because that's the ball field renovator, to scurify and then level out humps and stuff like that on the ball fields.
Didn't I hear that the school district was borrowing it as well?
So for their homecoming, they came over. They had to borrow our stake post pounder because they had fireworks, and then they saw our Ventrac, said, "Oh, we have the same thing." So this coming up Monday, we are borrowing their trenching attachment for a project that we're doing at Rothfuss Park when we put the heat in there. So it's more, we're getting into more shared services type deal. So if they have the trencher, we don't have to buy one type deal. So, like I said, it's a fantastic machine, and it gets used every day.
Good to hear. It's still on a state contract, is it?
It is. It's actually not state contract. It is a Sourcewell contract.
Okay.
So why do we need 2?
Because of all the different attachments, and so to be more efficient, instead of taking it from one place to the other where that's doing work, say over Shadow Pines or Sherwood, taking care of the trails there, and then it would get used at Little League every week, down at Little League type deal.
I mean, even just oftentimes where we could actually be using and utilizing 2 attachments at the same time, we felt would be beneficial.
Makes sense to me.
So I mean, like, I'm still not seeing whether or not if that outweighs the additional cost. So, I mean, can you tell me, you're saying so that you can have two different uses with attachments. Like, how long does it take to switch out attachments? Can the attachments not be kept on the same trailer so that you can take another attachment and switch on site? I mean, would the purchase of an additional mower here with the attachments or the price for $40,000, like, tell me in terms of like man hours or projects, or what does that actually quantify to? Best estimates, right? But like, I'm just trying to understand the ROI for an additional purchase 2 months after we approved.
Sure.
So I would have to say you can get two attachments on the same trailer, and specifically it would be, we would try to get the hedge trimmer on the trailer with that flail mower that's attached to it right now. We would take that, an example would be, we would take that out to Sherwood, we trim all the trails up with the hedge trimmer. That, while that's being used, our ball field renovator would be used at Little League, and that's probably about 4-hour-a-day job. We consistently groom them. We consistently groom Little League fields every day over the summer, including the fall. It takes about 3 to 4 hours, and it would cut down that time on if we could use another machine on those fields also. Does that make sense?
Or in a different place, or in another
Or any
park,
different
you
place.
know?
It's essentially a sod cutter with a roller, and there's different places with different trails we can use it for, and then just the finished mower by itself. Another area, say Shadow Pines, when we've been doing a lot of mowing down the trails and stuff like that.
Tractor.
Do you have a specific trailer, or do you just use something you already have when you have to move it from one side of town to the other?
Yeah, there's a specific trailer that we have to use.
But we do have that trailer already.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
you
you
could
could have-
additional that we'd have to purchase or
All
yes.
right, so you're expecting savings in time, being
Yes.
able to send two crews different directions.
Correct.
And not waiting on the machine to go to
Correct.
point B is
Yep.
my guess.
Yes.
And being that this time of year, I'm assuming we're getting towards the end of its busy season, right? Is it safe to say that, you're coming before us now because the funds, it sounds like, are available, and as we know, things are going to just be more expensive next year probably, so is that?
That's exactly it. So we do have funds available this year. Just projecting into next year, I've heard that prices may increase by up to 25%. And certainly don't want to save that money if at all possible for the residents.
It doesn't do any snow type removal or anything, does it?
It does, but we just don't have
You
the
don't have the
attachments for it yet, yeah.
Does the school district?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
Maybe you could try it out.
How much is the attachment for the snow blower?
I
I thought when this came in, it wasn't for, hold on, let me go back to the ask. Is it for the same tractor plus all the same attachments, the boom mower, the groomer?
No.
Front?
So we wouldn't be duplicating these 4 attachments. It would be a new unit. It would have one attachment. It's actually a blower attachment
Okay.
could be used to help
Okay.
clean up. So it's more so that we'd have a second tractor to be able to use the attachments that we have to have 2 of those at the same.
Okay.
2 different attachments on 2 different machines at any given time.
Okay, so that's helpful to
Sure.
me. I'm trying to distinguish the ask,
Yes.
and I get, okay, just because we have extra money and things came on under,
Yep.
I don't want to just have spend for nice
No.
to haves. Like, I need to understand how is it going to be different, or how is it going to be optimizing staff, time, resources, right? So, okay, so this ask is now for, we need a mower, obviously, or the tractor, excuse me, and then the attachment is going to be a snow blower, one that we currently don't have with the existing purchase in July or August it was, right?
It's not a snow blower, it's a turbine blower, so it's more wind to be able to help if there's debris or leaves or something else that we need to utilize to be able to kind of clear.
Yeah, and we would use that, just for a couple examples, we would use that for fence lines down at Little League, or fence lines, leaves, debris, anything like that.
Blower attachment.
But before our 4th of July event, we would go blow around the long grass at Harris Whalen type deal. So it would be used all season.
Can I just ask a question? The warranty and the life of expectancy of this equipment, pretty
Yeah,
much, is,
Looking to see if it specifies on here. I don't see it specified on the quote itself, but can certainly find that out.
That's fine, yeah.
And life expectancy, we're just, as of right now, we're planning to keep it out of the salt, the snow, so
Right.
it'll last longer.
Yep.
So it's just one tractor and one blower attachment?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other price was,
I want to say it was 68,000
yeah,
for one
okay.
tractor with the 4 attachments you see in this picture. Again, this picture is just the unit that we have to show for reference.
So I'd be looking at a resolution to move this to purchase this, move this to a resolution to purchase this at hopefully the November 1st.
November 1st.
Yep, meeting?
If the board was agreeable to that.
I move that we authorize the resolution for the $40,000, whatever.
To purchase-
Whatever the correct number
Sure.
is, to purchase the compact tractor with blower attachment.
and I'll second that.
Great. Roll call vote, please.
Drawe,
Aye.
Kohl,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
All aye.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on, the next item here is a portable solar-powered digital messaging sign. Now, this is something that we kind of have talked about for a while, a little bit on the back burner, as far as the need for, I'm going to turn this over to Eric, but the need for, this is just a sample of what possibly this one would look like. We've talked about it, getting our sandwich boards that we have around town, things like that. We're trying to get something signage that we can use for all kinds of events. I know that Eric has had, we have to rent signage like this for the 4th of July event, all those others, and we're looking at possibly us purchasing something that can be used for, that all the different departments in the town could use. For example, like DPW had last weekend, having their open house, something that the people, makes people aware of what's going on. It's portable, it would be moved to our different areas. Eric, if you want to elaborate on a little bit?
Yep. Like you said, we could use this for a number of different uses, whether it's, advertising for a special event, 4th of July. I know this upcoming weekend, we've got a kind of the last Saturday brush drop-off opportunity, as well as an additional document shredding destruction event. It could certainly be used for that, to be able to display that message for anyone driving by, rather than trying to look at the smaller sandwich boards we have. Especially 4th of July, we do have to actually rent a few to place on at kind of 250 and 441, and then 441 and 5 Mile Line. Just with the rental costs, we're spending a few $1,000s every year on those different units to have them for a few weeks. It could be used for anything. If Rec had a bigger program, or a specific concert at the amphitheater, it could be placed out in front of Town Hall. It could be moved to DPW the next day. It is a trailer mount. A lot of them are, or they all are, trailer mount units, with the idea that they are portable. You can bring them kind of wherever you need. You set them up. They've got batteries. They've got solar panels.
How
They're really-
secure are they?
So they do have a lockbox on them, which you have to have the key to be able to open, to be able to get to the messaging. You can also put, I know a number of them, you can also put your own kind of password code into the actual computer itself. So even if someone smashed the lock, they can't just get in and type whatever message they want. Some of them do have the ability to be able to change remotely. You could do it right from your phone without needing to physically be at them. Some of them, this one in particular, does also have additional kind of traffic radar monitoring capabilities. So I know we've got our radar feedback trailer that we place around the town. This could be used as a second location, for that purpose. It'd be versatile to be able to use for, any messaging for special events. It could be
Eric,
conveniently.
The message boards that we had for on Wayland Road, and also 5 Mile Line Road for the paving project, those were not, we those were not ours, we had to rent those?
We did not rent those, being that both of those paving projects
Okay.
were Monroe County DOT paving projects. It was the responsibility of the county to do and to cover that cost. However, this is, really the same thing as those boards.
So we could use this for a paving project on a town road?
Absolutely.
Or
yes.
We did that, last year, we had to rent 2 or 3 of them for the Panorama Trail project. Starting
Saying you
from-
just did Huntington Meadow.
We-
This
Yep.
would have been something you could have
Certainly could
posted
have
at
used
one
it.
end anyway. And
Yes. Yep.
or- Hard to say, guess how many times a year you might use this?
I would say I would think that it would get used every day, spring, summer, fall, between all of the special events, not only with DPW, like I said, with rec, and the amphitheater concerts, any special events, that take place here at Town Hall. I mean, even in the winter, it could be brought out and used, I guess, depending on what the events are and the frequency.
Weather warnings?
Certainly could be.
front of
Weather
DPW or
warnings,
something?
any special information that we want to put out.
And it costs us nothing with solar, or just the cost of the batteries?
Yeah, I mean, it does have solar panels on in the event that it's a cloudy
Yep.
kind of week. The batteries may die, the message may go blank. However, as soon as, and it actually did happen on, I believe it was the very tail end of the 5 Mile Line paving project, fortunately after the paving was complete, but there was a stretch of a few days where it was dark and cloudy. The batteries did die. However, as soon as the sun came back out,
They were
it had
back
a
up.
few hours to charge, it did turn right back on.
What's the rental cost for these units for calendar year 2023?
I don't know the exact dollar amount off the top of my head. I know each unit is somewhere between $600 and $700 per week, per unit. So knowing that, I mean, even 4th of July, we've got at least 2 for those.
We put that up for a couple weeks, do
Yeah,
we not?
Yeah, we've got.
For 4th of July, it's like at
It's
least a week and a half.
Before, yeah, okay.
Well, we still have to rent others. This isn't the only one.
No, we rent them for the park too, right?
Yeah, we usually put one at 250 and 441, kind of by Speedway, and then the other one, we started down at Linear to warn people about the parade, and then switching them over
It
to.
seemed like there was one at the entrance to Willow Pond,
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
Is that-
There's- I
think
then we
we've had
moved one there
Yeah,
to Willow Pond,
there's-
yes.
Yeah.
Do you get a deal on that because you need so many of them?
Unfortunately, no.
I wish.
So at least what I'm hearing is for those events, because of all the road closures and whatnot, the purchase of one is not going to eliminate the need to rent for all the other areas where the messaging needs to be up. Is that right?
Correct.
So I understand that if we purchase it, there might be additional uses to it. I don't, but because, I understand that this is just from Trans Supply and we're going to have to go through the whole contracting process and whatnot. But for me personally, I think even the sale price of approximately $19,000, because it doesn't eliminate the need for renting all other units, I don't see it really as a cost savings. So I would not be in favor of this purchase.
Again, it's probably not a cost savings if we had to rent 3 or 4 of them for a specific event, but yet when we're talking about programs like at the DPW that are happening this week, for example, Halloween, something, rather than all the sandwich boards, the different sandwich boards that we use, we might have 2 or 3
Oh,
sometimes for an
I get
event.
it. I understand that you're still going to
Right,
use it.
right.
But I just
You don't think-
don't see it enough for the cost differential. And, putting up the solar sign isn't the only messaging. I understand that it's bigger than a small sandwich board, but there are multiple avenues still for communication that we are going to still spend money on. Digital, print, those brochures, there's still other ways. So again, I'm not saying I'm just saying for the cost differential, I can't it's not enough for me to justify the cost. I'm not saying it won't get any use or anything, or
Yeah,
I don't see any
sure.
merit for the ask. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I just can't get comfortable with the cost.
Yeah, I see it's used the rec department almost as much as anything, or more, you know. Did you have conversations with the rec department as you looked at this? Because it sounds like a lot of it would be like for roads and so on, but a lot of it would be the 4th of July. That's really their purview, and entertainment and so on like that.
Linda, I can tell you, I've talked to all the different departments, and there has been nothing but like, oh, that would be great. You know, that would be, definitely be used, you know. The
Right.
rec department absolutely said.
So even though it'd be out of the DPW budget line, I mean, you could break it all up and
Yep,
have everybody
we
have a
would-
piece
We
of the
would
pie.
be
if
using it,
you're-
absolutely.
So is there enough money in the budget right now, or is this something that's?
Debbie and I were actually discussing with Barbara Chierdo, our finance director, earlier, and she did feel that there was plenty of money to be able to cover that cost.
Is there any grant opportunities for something like this? Safe from a,
I looked.
Community
we did look
safety.
into that, as a matter of fact, but
That's a good question.
but as far as, we hadn't found any on solar, we're trying to look for solar, obviously, for anything that we can find on that.
Right.
I kind of like it for for all the rec things. You know, you go over to the community center, it'll be like 4 or 5 sandwich boards for all these other community groups. And then there's like, little tiny one for the Halloween or something like that. It'd be nice to advertise what the town's actually providing, these events that it stand out more. You don't have to.
I mean, you
can
could
read
put
it
more than one
more
event on
clear.
it, too. I
Yeah.
mean, it can scroll
You can.
through.
Yep. Oftentimes you can have, different pages that it
Is
actually
this kind of
scrolls
like
through.
your electronic
I guess in a
board
way.
on the,
In
for
a-
the fire department?
in a way, yeah.
Because they have, it
that's
revolves more than one thing.
And that's what
Right.
we kind of were looking at, and looking at different towns that had that. Now, a lot of the towns have that, what you have at the fire hall,
Yeah.
that scrolls through, and, for example,
Yeah, I have seen it in other towns.
They
I see
have
fire
that.
halls, though,
Yeah,
in
I
Webster,
guess-
Penfield.
I guess for me, and I recognize it's not going to cover the rental costs, right, that we already have. We're going to still have to rent. The benefit might be for the amphitheater, just as an example of those events. You could get that out there the day of, the morning of, maybe the night before, I don't know what, but kind of giving people the heads up or a reminder. I'm just thinking of some of where it might get used on a more regular basis. But yeah, the big events, we're still going to need more than one. Certainly, it will reduce a fraction of the cost of the rentals, but I guess my only thing is I just wouldn't want to see us get it and then have it parked over behind DPW and it gets forgotten about or doesn't
no,
get
yeah.
dragged out. That would be my.
I can assure you that would not happen. The only other thing I'd like to add is I have looked at, just with our radar speed feedback trailer, it is it's still functional. It does not have solar panels on that, so we actually have to bring it back, plug it in, let the batteries charge. We put it out. We hope that the batteries last, about a week. If it dies prior to that, we've got to bring it back in. And we try to have it out for about a week anyway. I did look at, subsequent to this, was looking at just dedicated radar feedback trailers. The prices on those were coming in anywhere from 18 to 20,000 plus, just for a dedicated radar feedback trailer that didn't have nearly as large of any type of message board. The fact that this one, and I'm actually just going to click on here. So for just a dedicated message board, their sale price, at least this particular website, shows that it's $18,000. By adding the capability of having the radar feedback trailer,
see.
it's only a $1,000 increase. Certainly could get one without the capability.
No.
But I felt that rather than spending $20,000 on a radar feedback trailer and then another 17 to 18 on a dedicated sign, if you could combine the two, that would be a benefit as well.
No, definitely.
And of course, the state contract question again.
Yeah,
Again, that's
exactly.
so. One of the things I'm working on, I've got a number of calls out to different construction vendors, suppliers, Admar Supply, who we typically rent them from anyway. Number of the rental companies to see what they've got for units, what they can produce, whether it's exactly the same or at least comparable. and what contract options there are for those.
Do you think this price is a worst-case scenario, or do you think you'd be able to do better, or not sure yet?
I would certainly hope that it's worst case. I don't know for sure. Typically, what we find on websites is oftentimes higher than what we can actually get with municipal discounts, but I don't want to promise either.
This particular item, too, is, this will operate for a period of 21 days without any sun. So even more so than your speed trailer.
Yeah,
You
most
know,
certainly.
and then it recharges the battery in like 2.5 hours for a 24-hour period.
I'd be interested in going out to bid and seeing what the numbers come back. If it comes back startling and we don't like the numbers, I guess we don't have to accept it at that point.
And really, we don't
Right?
even have to
'Cause-
go out to bid. I can call around and get.
Well,
quotes.
yeah, I'm
Doesn't
sorry,
cost
come back with
anything.
pricing,
Yeah,
I guess is
pricing.
what I
And certainly share that.
Yeah. You're not
with the
looking
board.
for it tonight to purchase this. You're
No,
looking
the
for us to
action,
say, yes, we're
the
interested.
action is more so if the board is interested in pursuing this and potentially purchasing one,
Yes.
then I'll continue chasing it down.
I'd be in favor of heading that direction with
I'm in
it. So
favor, yeah.
I don't know if that's a motion, if you need a formal
Sure, a
motion, if you're just
motion
looking
to
for our
move ahead.
opinions, but
I'll second.
And I was going to say for like the town, I was going to bring up the fire hall, but I think Debbie already did. Like if we had something like that at the library for a digital solar sign and in front of the town, then you can still have all of these, you know, like the amphitheater specific
Yep.
sign for the town and then library specific there. You know, and then it's more aesthetically pleasing, that kind of digital sign versus parking this out in front. I mean, I'm not, you know, opposed to spending money, but I mean, my goodness, at least if there's a justified reason and it looks nice, but
Oh, you're talking about a stand or a
a
permanent one?
permanent-
yeah, like
Yeah.
updating
So
the signs,
we
like the
look-
library sign is
We-
ancient.
We looked at the cost of a permanent.
I'm sure it's more. I'm sure it's a lot more.
outrageous.
I'm just saying.
Four
you
to
know,
five
having-
times the
Instead
price.
of
Yeah,
having
at
this
least.
parked in front of the library,
Right.
come for children's trick or treat. I mean, really, you know, this is like a traffic control device, I feel like.
Well,
That's all I was
That's
saying.
fair
You
enough.
know,
That's-
that's all.
The one thing we heard quite a bit at the amphitheater is when we had concerts canceled, which we did unfortunately
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
weather on that Tuesday nights,
Yeah.
is that a little sandwich board was all we had.
Yeah.
And, you
Yeah,
know,
I get
people up here on Atlantic Avenue were, you know, would have maybe not come if they had seen that not driving home from work, you know, things like that, a use of it that could be, you know, that's why a lot of this, you know, we started
And
looking
the
at
other
how we can do
kind,
better
you know,
signage.
I think that'd be great if one day we have a new library or a new rec department, have that as a
Yeah.
part of it, you
Yeah.
know, have it spanking new, because we don't know what's going to be happening right this
Yeah,
minute
yeah,
about the
sure.
future
Fair.
of those, and you wouldn't want to put like a monument kind of thing that you have to take it down, you know?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think this is a good start. See how it works, and it's going to
So
be.
a motion to
Yeah,
move
so
forward and
I
get some
second.
pricing on it, moved by Bob, seconded by Linda. Should we have a vote on that?
Vote, Drawe,
Yes, A.
Kohl,
Aye.
Lee,
No,
no? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
no.
Okay. And Ockenden?
aye.
Okay. Thank you. So next on the item, on the agenda is really an informational item. It's on the Shadow Pines Mountain Bike Multi-Use Trails, and I'm going to really turn this over to Timmy Masterson because he has been probably instrumental on this, working with Andrew Erkfitz at the Recreation Department on this, on part of the master plan for the Shadow Pines. So Timmy, you want to?
Yeah. So we met a couple weeks ago now, maybe a month ago now, with Further Trail Services. His name is Adam Rees, right?
Yep,
Yeah, Adam.
Rees.
And it's been part of the conceptual master plan for Shadow Pines to add a mountain biking course on the old back nine, almost behind. If Eric can pull up
You'll see it.
that area that he has highlighted. So we're just trying to gather information for them, from them, and we did bring this to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board the last meeting, and they were all very agreeable on going forward with this preparation project. So there's a couple different tasks that they set out, and it's like one of the big tasks is, I think it's task number 2 is stakeholder engagement. It's getting the public in getting their input on where these trails would be, any questions that they have, that type of thing. And it's a semi-aggressive timeline. They want to start doing some meetings in November through like February. That's at least for the stakeholder engagement, and it goes all the way until just different feedback, different meetings, that I would suggest that we could just even bring that to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, have them meet there, because that's a group of residents that we're already working with. And then there's just different field planning that they would go, there's no shovels in the ground, nothing like that. Field planning, just getting maps, and then just coming up with a trails conceptual plan. Nothing in the ground. They would put markers on trees where they think the corridors would be, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And I'll just add the map that's pulled up on the screen. This was part of the original conceptual master plan for the Shadow Pines property. So this was certainly portions of the property do look different than shown on here. However, the original, I guess, master plan and future layout of the property did identify a mountain biking kind of trail course in this portion on that kind of that back.
I was going to say, could you outline the area that you were expecting that this would be?
In talking with Adam, it doesn't sound like a lot for that area. It's more or less a 3 mile, 3 miles of trails, beginner to intermediate. There wouldn't be any super crazy like black diamond, whatever their terminology is for the for the hardcore. It's more of an introduction that we've wanted to try to get more bikers or more mountain biking and stuff like that.
We should also mention, it really are, the proposal is to make it also multi-use trails. So not just bikes will be on it. Bikes will be,
Yes,
but
biking, running, trail running, that type of thing, walking.
Do we anticipate it to affect anything that's there now as far as the trails are? And a few times I've been back that deep, and people are just walking the current paths. And
Right now-
do you anticipate that interrupting that in any way with this addition, or is the addition pretty much in that wooded area on the western boundary?
I know the vast majority of what was originally anticipated, and I believe that even the mountain biking groups and organizations would prefer to do, is try to tuck it into that wooded area. I don't want to speak on behalf of all
Sure.
of them. Tim may have a little more familiarity or knowledge, but that was my understanding.
Yep, most of the main trail, like the starting of the main trails, if we like the idea and we wanted to expand in the future, we can go out more into the whole not the whole back property, but expand more. Realistically, you're going to have to park somewhere and ride your bike, or if you're riding your bike, so you're going to have to get on some trails to get to the mountain biking trails.
And I should tell you that for this, the cost of this, we're looking, estimated cost is $9,600, which there will be no cost to the town. This will be donated. We have a donation from a resident that would like to pay for this out of his foundation. So really, it's getting a plan, a design, if you will, plans, a proposal for what what people want, the community would like to see.
And then between that, the stakeholders, that would be the residents' input, that kind of stuff, that kind of thing. Then they would take the trails concept and start designing it out of that, and then it would come back here for a vote.
Yes.
Sounds good.
There's really no action on this, I don't think, unless
Just
nobody
explaining
sees
it to us, yeah.
that
Sounds
there's
good. Going through the Parks and Rec, too.
any other questions that anyone has for, we can take them back to further design for trail systems to Adam, and he can answer any of those questions.
When is this going next before the Parks and Rec Committee?
So I think the next order of action is to just tell Adam, like, hey, we can go ahead with this, and then we would just further discuss this at the next Parks and Rec Advisory Board. in November, and there's just certain, in the scope of work, they've laid out certain, how many meetings they want to do, maybe up to 10, so we can just have them directly work with the Parks and Rec Advisory Board.
I think his first meeting would be like a town, he said a goal and setting planning process in person in November, and where he would meet with the board, with the Park and Recs Board.
Well, thank you, Tim. I mean, I know it's really preliminary now. I mean, I have some concerns, but it's so preliminary. I'm sure that'll be vetted through the process. So, and I'm sure won't be able to shut my mouth in that process. So, I'll wait.
Again, a lot of these groups, they work with Grok and things like that. They work.
That's where the name.
Yes,
That's how I know
Grok.
the name.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So they're great stewards. There's a lot of, I compare it to the success that we've kind of had with the disc golf course.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
course stewards there.
Yep.
Grok has the same amount that would help take care of the trails and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern is kind of what I stated a few minutes ago is, I'm more inclined to be in favor of something that stays in an area that's not traditionally utilized, on a regular basis by our residents. I wouldn't want to see anything down by the little bridge and through that area, because that's just a great scenic little area that I wouldn't want to see. You got to worry about somebody riding past you. But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what kind of design might fit in that wooded area.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's why I, had pulled this up. That was the originally intended area as part of that conceptual master plan, and I believe that's the area that they still intend on trying to tuck this into.
Can you tell me the white dotted lines? Are those the existing trails?
Those look like they are the part of the existing trails that, at least some of the paved trails and connecting ones that we've mowed to connect the paved to the.
Okay.
Combination of existing and kind of how to connect where existing, paved
Right, right, right.
pathways
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stopped and how you
Yeah.
would get to another.
Basically driving across the old fairways to connect to
Yeah,
the.
yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think those are up to date, to be honest, because we've had so many different.
Right.
This plan's from August 19th of 2020. So just to show and kind of put into perspective how long that area had been identified and anticipated for this use.
Could you go back to the parcel?
Yes.
Parcel map? Does the parcel, it does come out to Clark Road then? Is that it kind of?
Yep, so
around there.
it actually wraps around 1935 and 1945 Clark Road. Does connect on both sides.
I would be worried about like just the residents and how it's going to be, shared and respected there, right? And then the flow of traffic where they're not used to getting a lot of foot traffic and mountain bikes having run on trails that are torn up by mountain bikes, they get muddy and messy,
Sure.
and it's really hard for runners. This is like back when I was younger and actually ran, right? But this is it's hard to share that trail. It's going to be dominated by the bikes, and again, unless you go through Clark Road or where are they going to park? You're going to get. I don't know how many
That's
mountain
the
bikers
future.
there
I mean,
are. Yeah, I know, but these are the concerns. See,
concerns.
I'll stop talking. These are the concerns that I hope would be vetted in that process.
You'll be there at these meetings,
Yeah, I know. Anyway, all right,
yeah.
cool,
That'll
thank
be
you.
good questions.
And that was some of the questions that were brought up a little at the last Park and Rec Advisory Board about bordering the Huntington
Yeah.
Meadow Drive, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, what we can
Yeah.
do and what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
I stated before, one of our examples is on the old Front Nine where the disc golf meets up. The town put up signs ourselves next to 1890. We put up, please stay on Town of Penfield property. We put a couple signs there, and nobody's really ventured past that. So that's always an option that we can do.
Well, if you get your
So I highlight that
solar
blue
sign,
line.
you can put it there too.
Yeah.
Stay on.
Stay out.
I see you got I'm not sure when it went in, but the crosswalk from roughly Huntington Meadow over to the park is in and tied into a pathway, it seems.
Yes.
Yeah, that was,
So that crosswalk, at least the crosswalk markings have been striped. There will actually be a resolution coming before this board in 2 weeks for the November 1st meeting to actually establish the crosswalk signage for that location, as well as Panorama Trail.
And we've seen it used quite a bit. It leads right up almost to the new hole number 16 for the disc golf, and we've seen it used quite a bit. So it's a very good addition, getting into the
Yes,
property.
getting into-
Yeah, from a
property over
different
there.
spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions on that? All right.
This is unrelated, but after you guys got the mowers, thank you for keeping Shadow Pines like actually mowed on a bi-weekly, weekly basis. It's been a lot more pleasant to walk when it's not,
Well, and I'll let Tim say,
Overgrown.
but really, all of the mowing that has been done there has been with those mower head attachments on that Ventrac mower.
Yeah.
And again, personal note, my wife and my daughter, we've been taking walks there almost every night, and it's great to see other people coming around, and you say like, oh, they got a dog, we can go
You
another
can,
way.
yeah,
So,
it's a lot
Yes.
nicer.
Yep.
It really is.
Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate the.
All right, I have no held items tonight. I have no old business. Board, any new business? Seeing none, we will go into executive session. I will adjourn this meeting at 7:11. And our next work session will be on November 15th. I'm sorry, yeah, November 15th.
November 15th,
November, I
yes.
keep thinking that November can't be here yet. November 15th, right here. And so I want to thank you again to PCTV, to Mr. Tate, Mr. Masterson for tonight, and appreciate that. And everyone have a nice evening.
Thank you.